Okay. Hello, Andre.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Fine. I am so happy to have you as part of my Black History Month fashion conversation, where we are discussing all types of fashion, whether
Okay.
it's styling, designing, whatever you do. And I want to give everyone the opportunity to get to know a little bit more about Black Garment Bag and exactly what is up with you during the
Okay.
pandemic and any
Sure.
other thing we can talk about. So, to
Sounds
everyone
good.
out there, this is Andre Wilson. He is the founder and CEO of Black Garment Bag. So,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about yourself and about Black Garment Bag.
Sure. So, first of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here. And hello to everybody out there in video land.
Yes.
Black Garment Bag is the men's style consultancy that I founded formally in 2018. However, it started off as a menswear blog, and that started in 2016. So what was sort of the impetus of creating the blog was just I felt like there was a gap in the marketplace in terms of guys looking for styling tips or guys looking for style advice.
Mhm.
So I created the blog to sort of meet that need, and then it got a really great response. I started getting subscribers, and brands started reaching out. So I felt like there was an opportunity there. And in 2018, I left my corporate job to do this full time.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
left my corporate job to do this full time. I felt like there was a need, and like I said, I was getting really good feedback and really good, contacts with people out in the industry, and also folks who, I built a long corporate career, so I had lots of contacts, lots of guys who would reach out to me for style advice over the years,
Right.
and who trusted me, trusted my opinion. So I just leveraged that, leveraged those relationships into clients. So that's been really great. And what Black Garment Bag is, in addition to being an editorial website, it's also a full service boutique uh, styling firm. So essentially, it's from grooming all the way, we handle everything from grooming all the way to special event styling. A lot of what I've been doing since the pandemic has been around outfit creation and
Okay.
wardrobe assessments and personal styling and personal shopping as well too. But
Mhm.
it's full service. There's an image consulting component to the business as well. So it really depends on what the client's needs are. But my main focus has been on focusing on menswear. So that's the clientele that I typically deal with.
Okay. And who's your typical client? Is there like an age demographic range that you deal
Yeah,
with? Is it teens or do you strictly do men that are older in the corporate world? Is there a
yeah.
specific niche market?
So essentially, ages can range from young professionals all the way from 25 all the way up to more senior in your career, mid 50s, early
Okay.
60s. But
Mhm.
typically, it's folks who are in corporate America because that's where I sort of come from, that world. So I have a lot of contacts there. I speak the language, they understand me, they trust me, and so that's typically my clientele. However, there have been occasions where I work with folks in the entertainment industry as well as doctors and lawyers. So it's a wide range of clientele, but primarily corporate folks.
Okay. And have you found since the pandemic, when you say corporate, now we're
Hmm.
thinking athleisure, work from home,
Yeah,
casual.
yeah.
Has your corporate dress changed, or do your clients still look for the same thing that you were requesting back in 2017, 2018?
Sure. And Nancy, I would say that it just really varies. The majority of clients, they definitely are working more from home. So they want more, casual pieces. However, they still want to, put forth a professional image. So they're not wearing necessarily athleisure from head to toe. It's maybe a blazer with a t-shirt or a blazer with a Henley, things like that. So still, structured, still polished, but then also that casual sort of edge as well. I'm doing more and more of that. One of the things that came out of this entire pandemic was that I had to pivot the business.
Mhm.
And typically, I will work with clients in person, face to face.
Right.
So I've had to move everything online, which doesn't necessarily give you the same sort of experience as
Yeah,
in person,
I
but it's
know.
a nice sort of alternative. And a lot of clients were reaching out to me because they weren't going anywhere, so they wanted to use pieces that they already had in their closet.
Right.
So outfit creation became the number one service that I was offering, and I'm still currently offering during the pandemic. Folks want to, use what they currently have, mix things up, create new looks because they're on camera all the time. So they want to
Right.
say,
Right.
how can I present myself, using the same pieces, but just present them differently. So
Mhm.
that's been really, really incredible too, just to see how people have all adapted to this new reality.
Right. Do you pull from their closets? So do you start with like a closet analysis and then go from there? Or do you strictly do shopping outside? Or is it both?
So
Well, both.
yeah, so it's a little bit of both. So initially, my initial service is a closet audit. So essentially,
Right.
I need to come to your home or turn on your camera, let me see everything that's in your closet, and that's it. That means everything. So shirts,
Right.
pants, blazers, shoes, jewelry, everything that you have in your closet. Because what I do is, in addition to take a mental note of what you have, I also just make physical notes. I take pictures of things that you have
Right.
because once we've worked together and I'm out and about and I see something that I think may be appealing to you, I'm going to send you a text. I'm going to send you an email to say, hey, I saw this piece that'll go
Right.
with this pair
Mhm.
of pants that you have. So it's really about letting me into your closet so that I get a sense of who you are, what your particular style is, and then be able to create a program for you that addresses those specific needs that you have.
Okay. So how would you describe your own personal style? Because I
Yeah.
know as a image consultant stylist myself, people they look at you and
Hmm.
say, look at how you're dressed. It's the same thing that they are eager to see how you're going to style them. And I know
Sure.
I look at different fashion personalities, but how would you describe your own personal style?
So what I typically do, and this goes for myself as well as for my clients, I ask them to develop a style mantra. So
Okay.
basically 3 words that describes your style. And what happens is even when you're getting, inundated with all these images of, different, clothing, different fashions and things like that, your style mantra will always bring you back to sort of what the fundamentals are. So for me, my
Right.
3 words are clean, modern, and tailored.
Okay.
So those are the 3 words that I always come back to, regardless of what trend is happening. I know that those are the 3 words that guide sort of my fashion philosophy,
Okay.
and that's what I sort of project. So I'm always looking for modern looks, so things that are really well tailored, really well structured, and it really works well for my body type as well.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, do you find you're using social media a lot more since the pandemic? And what part of social media is it more the visual Pinterest,
Mhm.
Instagram, or is it a combination of a little bit of everything that's out there?
So yes, I'm absolutely using social media a lot more than I was using it pre-pandemic. And I think that we all have had to sort of adapt to that new reality as well. I mean, everybody's at home more, they have nothing else to do but scroll through their timelines and see what's happening. So the challenge for us in the fashion industry is to make that when they stroll it, when they're scrolling through their timeline, is to
Yeah.
make it a little bit, make them stop, give them something to pique their interest so that they'll spend a little bit more time on your post versus your someone else's post.
Yeah.
So I've definitely increased my video content. That's been a huge
Mhm.
adjustment that I've had to make during this entire pandemic because I'm
Right.
noticing that a picture will get some likes, but videos will be viewed multiple times. They'll be shared easily. So it's definitely more video content. And I've also pivoted from just, focusing on this outfit of the day to actually
Yeah.
providing style tips.
Right.
So a short, 45-second video, 30-second video. For instance, I posted one yesterday about, 4 accessories that'll elevate your look.
Mm,
So
that's
look
good.
at the video, it just shows you some really quick ideas just to get the brain thinking
Okay.
about pieces that you can use, small things that you can add to your wardrobe that will, level up your look. So yeah, definitely more video content. And I'm primarily focused on Instagram. That's the platform that I
Mhm.
prefer.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure if you're familiar with, all of the capabilities of Instagram, but they've introduced Reels, which is
Yes.
kind of like a
Yeah, I
TikTok
know.
feature. So
Right.
that's been
Yeah.
really great as well too. So there are definitely, lots of tools within the platform to help you sort of get your message across and also be able to compel, engage your audience.
Yeah. That's fabulous. What is your Instagram? Tell everyone what your Instagram um
Handle.
handle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes. Your Instagram, whatever. Yes.
Sure. My Instagram handle is at Black Garment Bag. So Black Garment Bag, all one word together, and you'll be able to find me. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how do you stay motivated? I know now that you said, I didn't realize that you were doing this full time, which is great,
Hmm.
which is what we're all doing now, I think,
Sure.
a lot of us.
Hmm.
Um, how do you stay motivated to keep going, to keep your business going?
I think because there've definitely been some times when during this whole pandemic, and I think we probably all have felt this at one time or another, that, oh my God,
Yeah.
there was just so much uncertainty in the world. What am I doing? And I think what sort of just kind of, anchors me is that the fact and the knowledge that things can always be better.
Right.
And that's kind of that's what really motivates me, is that when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, how can I make an improvement today? How can I make things better today? How can I give my audience better content? How can I give them more solutions? Because I think of myself as a problem solver.
Mhm.
And I just happen to solve problems that are, wardrobe related. But I definitely think of myself as a problem solver, and I never run out of solutions. So I'm
Right.
always thinking, oh, there's got to be some issues there, some way that I can, you know, um, simplify a blog post or something so that people can get the key points of it, get the information that they need, and go on about their day. Because my whole objective is to make, dressing simpler for guys so that
Yeah.
they spend less time in their closets and more time doing other things that they enjoy doing.
Right.
So I'm always looking at ways that I can sort of enhance my, the solutions that I offer, and then be able to identify problems that may exist. And sometimes that involves, looking at problems that people don't even realize are problems yet. But
Right.
that's my job as sort of a visionary, is to be able to look at those particular, potential roadblocks and say, oh, this is a solution that I've been working on. So the notion that things can always be better is what really drives me.
That's excellent. I think that's a good way
Oh,
of
thank you.
looking at it too. Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
thinking of expanding beyond Chicago, or especially now that a lot is online and people
Hmm.
can reach you in so many different ways? And
Yeah.
if so, where do you feel that market is? Because I always think of London, Savile Row.
Hmm.
There's so many men's designers that come out of that place, out of
Right.
London. And
Right.
here in Chicago, like you said, yes, I do know menswear specific
Hmm.
designers and menswear stylists, but you don't hear it as much. So, how do you feel Chicago is treating the menswear business? And then how do you feel that you can expand? And when I say treating, do you feel that you're getting enough people from this area that want to find out more about fashion, that aren't
Yeah.
usually in the public eye either, just everyday people?
Everyday people.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Nancy, what I would just first respond to that is that menswear in general has just gotten a lot more attention. It's a lot more democratized now. So people have a lot more access points to learning about fashion and style. So I think that is a great thing for the industry overall.
Right.
In terms of, specifically about Chicago, my experience has been, yes, there are definitely some trendsetters here in the city, but by and large, particularly the corporate audience that I sort of work with, they
Mhm.
tend to be a little bit more hesitant to embrace new trends and new styles, which is fine.
Mhm.
But I know that that's what that audience, they're more conservative. They tend to be a little bit more traditional.
Right.
So I think for me, it's been about adapting my services to those individual clients. So
Okay.
I do have clients that are a little bit more trendier, who are a little bit more
Right.
um, courageous in what they want to wear. So
Mhm.
those are really fun opportunities just to kind of flex my creativity. And
Mhm.
then even for the folks who are a little bit more middle of the road, a little bit more conservative, that also presents a challenge too, in a fun way, because it forces me to kind of rein things in and edit
Right.
in order to deliver a product that the client will like. I think guys are realizing more and more every day the importance that appearance plays.
Yes.
And there's a element that I always think about. It's called the art of being handsome. So
Mhm.
it's more about just your overall, appearance. It's about the way you dress, the way you present yourself, how you
Yep.
speak, how you move through the world. So
Right.
it's more than just, going into your closet and finding a few pieces for you to wear. It's it's more about the overall presentation that you have,
Mhm.
to the world. So how do you, do you give a firm handshake when we could give handshakes? Do you look somebody in the eye?
Right, right,
How do you speak? So it really is about more than just dressing someone. It's really about looking at all of those different aspects. Pre-pandemic, I had a few clients who were recently divorced, who
mhm,
wanted to get back into the dating world. So they wanted an assessment of their wardrobe. So that's always fun. Helping somebody out who's going for their first interview or going for a job interview for, advancing their
right,
career, and helping them, elevate that confidence, increase their confidence through their, appearance,
right,
makes it all worthwhile for me. It really is about understanding what the client's specific needs are.
mm,
And I haven't found that to be a huge challenge or a roadblock here in Chicago. I feel like there's definitely an
yeah,
audience for
there
it.
is, mhm,
I do have some clients who are outside of the city. So fortunately, I've always offered virtual styling, virtual consultations. So that's always been a part of my business that was, even I had in place before the pandemic. So that has definitely increased. Folks do
yeah,
find me on social media, Instagram, and then also LinkedIn. That's
right,
another
yeah, LinkedIn,
resource for me.
right,
So I think that the Chicago market, obviously, we could all, have more clients, do more business. I mean, I would never say that I have enough clients, but
right,
I do feel like there's definitely opportunity here in the city, and I feel like guys are becoming more and more aware of and comfortable
that's
with
right.
expressing themselves through fashion and through style.
Yeah. I know a part of my image consulting business, and that's pretty much what you do because it's
Hmm.
appearance,
Yes.
behavior, and communication skills. It's
Yes.
all three. And
Hmm.
people really look at the appearance part because, of course, that's the physical part. But the
Hmm.
behavior and the communication skills, especially individuals that are in the corporate, business arena, would need the whole package. So,
Sure.
um, I'm hoping, I mentioned Chicago because I love Chicago and I've been
Right.
there, that when I was teaching at school, there was always like the mayor's fashion council, and there was so
Hmm.
much with the schools. And now all of that has decreased, that I'm hoping that maybe we could come up with our own little fashion like mastermind group that we
Yeah.
could, converse and talk and share ideas and share people.
Hmm.
Maybe there's a male client that could use some help that someone does not have, that they
Yes.
could pass on to you. So that's what I'm hoping to. And this month being at Black History Month,
Hmm.
there's so many individuals like yourself that could use more clients all the time. I mean, we all
For
could use more
sure.
clients and get our
Yes.
name and word out there. So anything that
Yes.
we can do to help each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I always tell, when I'm approaching a potential client, I always approach it with the sort of expectation that we're not just because we introduce ourselves to each other, that we're going to work together. It has
That's
to be a
right.
personality fit. We have to
That's
have
right.
similar styles in terms of how we approach things.
That's right.
Otherwise, it's not going to be a very productive relationship, because I look at this as a relationship business.
It
And
is. Yeah.
it's not, I mean, I do have clients who are kind of like one and done,
Yes.
but for the most part, it's more of a long-term sort of relationship. I'm
Right.
working with you through this, throughout the year, throughout the different seasons and things like that. So throughout life events as well. So it really is about building a relationship with an individual, and building that trust. Because I think ultimately that's why they're going to work with you, is because they value your point of view,
Mhm. That's right.
and they respect your point of view, and they want to hear your point of view. So the more you can build a trustworthy relationship built on honesty,
Hmm.
I think that's going to serve you in the long run. I've referred, potential clients to other folks because I was like, I just don't think that we're going to, it's
Right.
just not going to work for us. And nothing against that person, but just for whatever reason, we just couldn't click. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, but I know somebody else who might be more your speed, who might be
Hmm.
more suitable for you. So it really is about not feeling that you have to take every client that comes to you out of desperation, but
That's
being
true.
able to pick and choose. And I think when I started my business, because it's a new business, you're eager to
Right.
work with anyone.
That's right.
And I think that over time you realize that, that's not probably the best approach.
I know. Yes.
it can lead to some some frustration. So it's really about finding people and working with people, because it is a partnership
That's true.
that you want to work with, that you want to spend time with. This is kind of intimate because I go to people's homes, I'm in people's closets, so I don't see the public side of them. I'm seeing more of a private side to them. So it's got to be, you have to work with people that are comfortable with, that you want to see succeed,
Mhm.
and that just, for whatever reason you connect with. I think that's
Yep.
really key.
I think everything that you just said is definitely a relationship business.
Hmm.
You're right. And it's
Sure.
just like if
Yeah.
you were out shopping and you establish a relationship with the salespeople that work
Hmm.
there, and you tend to go back to those
Yes,
retailers, those stores that you've established a really good relationship with, and you
that's
want
true.
to do business with them. So it's the same thing. They want to do
That's
business with you, and you
that is
want to do
true.
business with them.
That is true. That is true. I always think about, I mean, there's some clients who, when they, find out what I do, they approach me about, oh, I would like to work with you and things like that. And then they want to know like what's the differences between a personal stylist and an image consulting. I explain that. I'm like, personal stylists are typically more wardrobe focused,
Right.
whereas the image consultant is a little bit more broader. They're looking at you more holistically. And it's just really getting them comfortable with the idea of it, and it's just not for celebrities. That's the other
That's
thing
true.
too.
That's
Or
another
well,
thing.
or,
Yeah.
or well-known people,
Right.
everyday people can use the services of an image consultant. So I
Right.
think that that's also too. So there's a huge educational component to what I do as well.
Mhm.
In addition to networking, it really is explaining to people what it is that I do and the value that I can bring to you. So it's really getting people comfortable with the idea, and then
Mhm.
also getting them to see the value. And then there's some folks who just won't see the value, and then I just
Oh, yeah.
realized that those aren't my clients.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
those aren't my clients. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with that either. Yeah. So, what is something you wish more people knew about you?
Something I wish more people knew about me. I will say, related to the business, that every time I do a closet edit or any sort of closet purge, that the donations, I typically, the ones that are, gently used,
Yes.
I do
Mhm.
deliver those to a men's shelter, because
Right.
that's something that's near and dear to my heart, is, the homeless population here in
That's right.
Chicago.
Mhm.
And specifically, folks who are looking to get back on their feet. Nothing for me, nothing makes me feel better than just, looking good. So
Yep.
it automatically boosts my confidence. So I would love to deliver that same experience to folks who maybe, run into some hard times at the moment. So that's something I wish more people knew, is just, it's not just, some people think fashion is frivolous and styling is
I
frivolous,
know.
but I was like, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Thousands of people are employed by it. So I don't think it's frivolous at all. I think there's
No, it's
definitely
not.
some,
It's it's not.
I definitely think there's a serious aspect to it. I think we do a lot of good in the world as
That's
well.
true. That's
And yeah, one of the things that I'm really passionate about is the homeless population, and then using what I do on a day-to-day basis to be able to uplift other folks. So I think
that's
that's really,
fantastic. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I know that whole discard part of the
Hmm.
closet pull is
Yes.
something I always say, if you have a favorite charity, fine, but if not, you're right. I know so many people in
Yes.
homeless organizations that could use the clothing. So
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
that
so,
is something that people don't realize. You're right.
yeah, yeah. That's because there's always this assumption, sometimes rightly or wrongly, that a personal stylist is just going to make you shop. We just want to spend money. I mean, there's an element of, to that in what we do, but then there's also, what do you currently have? You may have pieces already that you
That's
just don't
right.
know what to do with them. I mean, that's how outfit creation became one of my most popular services. Is people are like,
Mhm.
oh, you mean to tell me you can just shop my closet? Yes, I can pull pieces that you already have and create brand new looks that you didn't even know, and saving you money,
It's true.
because you're not buying new pieces. And then if I do find that there are gaps in your wardrobe, I'll write a list of things that I'd like you to purchase over time,
That's right.
and as time and budget allows, then you can just begin to add those pieces, one by one, individually, because the ultimate goal is to give you a wardrobe that
Mhm.
you're proud of, that you can go in and pull a piece at any particular point in time and know that you're going to look great when you wear it.
That's it. You said it
Yeah,
right there. That's
yeah,
exactly how it should be done. So let me ask you this.
yes.
What three pieces do you think every man should have in their closet? Clothing.
3 pieces.
Mhm.
A blazer will take you, I mean, it's a great piece to have. You could dress it up or dress it down. So definitely a blazer, a
Okay.
nice pair of dark denim
Mhm.
will definitely take you far, and a pair of Chelsea boots.
Oh, okay.
Those three
Wow.
pieces will take you anywhere. You could dress them up, dress them down. They look
Ah,
good with, Chelsea boots look good with dress pants, with jeans. So a variety of different looks you can wear with Chelsea boots. So I'm a
yeah.
big fan of them. And they're easy to put on, you just slip them on. I mean, some of them have like zippers on the side. So it's like a great alternative to dress shoes.
Excellent. Okay, so
Yeah.
men, listen to those three titles right there. Do you have any fashion books, men's books that you like? I know I just recently got The Sartorialist Man by Scott Schumann.
Yeah, I am always looking, and reading about the industry and what's happening with menswear. Currently I'm reading, it's over there on my mantelpiece over there, Contemporary Menswear. So
Mhm.
basically it's a more of a photo book, but it's just, for me, it gives me lots
Yes,
of inspiration.
yes.
I'm also currently reading Dapper Dan's book.
Yes, Dapper Dan. Yes, I saw
Reading
that.
that one as
Yeah.
well too. And then I spend a lot of time reading periodicals,
Yes,
just because I like to know what's going on in the industry,
right.
and not just in the U.S. I like to read things from all over
British.
the world,
Mhm.
because I think having a very well-rounded sort of perspective is really helpful when it comes to clients,
Right.
because they're looking at me as an expert, and I need to be able to be creative and think of things that are outside of the box. So I really feel like, listening to podcasts, reading books, reading
Mhm.
periodicals are all great ways just to increase your knowledge base.
Yeah, I know. I've never watched so many YouTube fashion influencers uh, till March of last year.
Yeah, yeah,
And YouTube period. I never
mhm,
knew, but there are so many that I'm
so many.
subscribing to, and
Yeah,
really getting a kick out of their lifestyle and what they purchase, what they buy, and
hmm,
and of course
hmm,
I'm a book fanatic, and just like you said,
yes,
coffee table books and the photo books, and podcast. There's some
for
interesting
sure.
podcast out there. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely out there. Fashion is not
yeah.
gonna go away for sure.
Not go away at all. And there's no shortage of information. If you're, interested in it, you can certainly, find it. It's definitely available to you. And the other sort of advantage of that is that, when folks reach out to you, they're looking at you as a resource.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you're as, current as possible on what's happening in the industry. And not
Right.
to say that you have to have an encyclopedic knowledge of what's going on, but you should just have an awareness of
Right.
what's happening in the marketplace. And I find, because it's easy to get inundated with all of the fashion news that's happening in the world, all of the collaborations, all of the launches, all of the businesses that are closing. This really gets overwhelming. So it's
Mhm.
just being able to have like sort of a cursory knowledge, I find, is really important about
Right.
what's happening.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fantastic. Is there anything, any events, any happenings, anything you want us to know before we conclude here?
So right
That's
now,
going on?
there isn't any one particular event that's happening. I am working very closely with the Pacific Garden Mission to see if
Mhm.
there's
Yeah.
any sort of opportunities for some sort of, like, I used to work in HR in my old life.
Uh-huh.
So if there's any sort of job readiness, interviewing,
Yeah.
programs that they might want to consider starting up, and I'd be happy to facilitate that for them.
Mhm.
Other than that, it's just working with brands, continuing to, source clients, and just be able to continue to bring beauty, to the city of Chicago.
That's an excellent way to conclude. Beauty in the city of Chicago. I totally agree. So,
Yes, absolutely.
Andre Black Garment Bag, I truly enjoyed speaking with you today.
Oh, thank
I
you. Thank
wish
you.
you nothing but luck. And I tell you, menswear is something that I have dabbled in, of course, and can still dabble in and still do.
Yes.
but I have more female clients. So
Hmm.
who knows? I may just be passing all the men over to you.
And
Uh,
vice versa. Vice versa. There's some women who've approached me and I'm like, oh, I don't
yeah,
really, that's not really
yeah.
my
So
forte, but it's good to know
yes.
people for sure. It's definitely good to
Okay.
know people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So great. So enjoy the rest of your day
You
and
as well.
we'll talk soon. Okay.
We'll talk soon. Bye, Nancy.
Bye bye.